Hi everybody, it's Daz in my new Pretender shell. I'm here to tell you about Transformers Classic Cartoons Pretenders. So look for me and my wave mates, Bumblebee as 1980s cartoon Spider-Man, and Grimlock as Orson Pig from US Acres, and also Starscream as Cobra Commander. On shelves never. Also, if you're wondering why my mouth's not moving, but my head shakes whenever I talk, well, I have Parkinson's. Thanks for bringing it up, you dicks. Pretender shell fades out. And so there was some horrible voice acting and also wishful thinking on my part. So here we are, it's R.A.D. Jazz from the new Robots in Disguise cartoon. I've had this guy for a couple of weeks, but I'm just now getting around to reviewing him. So through the magic of editing, let's put him back in his package and start the review proper. Hey everybody, it's Jason from DestinyHelix.com, and today I'm reviewing Robots in Disguise Jazz, and yeah, I said through the magic of editing we put him back in the package, but, well, okay, I couldn't wait. I tell you the truth, I was tearing this guy open as I was driving down the interstate trying to transform him. So, I could not wait. And, first thing I want to point out here is Jazz's package art, which, I don't know, I find a little disturbing. That grin in combination with those thick, dark eyebrows just looks kind of rapey, like, hey baby, get ready for a mouthful of hot jazz. Anyway, no more bad voice acting today. Alright, so Jazz is one of my favorite characters ever, so I pretty much buy every iteration of him. And yeah, this is really colorful, really clean lines. Looks like the animation from the current TV show, but it also kind of fits in with the Prime aesthetic. Great colors. Anyway, let's get him out of his package and break him down, compare him to some other Jazzes of days past. Alright, and here is Jazz in vehicle mode. Pretty straightforward. No fancy action features, no transparent windows, but he does have a pretty cool vehicle mode, almost like some kind of Art Deco muscle car. Kind of reminds me of the 90s animated Batmobile, just shorter and in inverted colors. Now he does come with this little lance or rifle weapon that can mount on his roof, and pretty decent sculpted detail actually, considering the simplified designs from this line. I'm really not all that crazy about the cartoon itself, but the toys that have been coming out of this line have been pretty cool so far, the ones I've picked up. And I do want to show him with G1 Jazz. Rather, this is the Encore version. You can see a size comparison. Of course, the colors are right, just more simplified arrangement on the RID version. And I think the vehicle mode sort of fits the spirit of Jazz, even if it's not really a mode that's similar to one he's had in the past. And of course, Reveal the Shield, or Generations Jazz. Three of my favorite Jazzes. And since there's not all that much to vehicle mode, we'll go ahead and move on to the transformation. And RID Jazz's transformation is actually pretty simple. If you've ever had Transformers Prime Bumblebee, it's very similar. And usually I start by popping out the front bumper and folding the arms out, flipping the hands out, pulling the fenders out, and then pulling the doors forward, then untabbing the rear part of the car, and separating those to form the legs, flipping the feet down, flipping the hood forward to form the chest, and rotating the shoulders forward and pushing these front fender sections up to sort of meet the bottom of the chest. And this kind of upset me when I first saw it in the package, because I thought this really just like hung down and formed a cape almost all the way past his knees, but it actually folds up and does tab in to the back there. And there's Jazz in robot mode. And he does, of course, hold his lance or rifle weapon either by the handle or by the stock, being more of a lance or sword. And in robot mode, he does have shoulder rotation. He does have a swivel and elbow articulation. The only wrist articulation, of course, is as a result of his transformation. His head turns, and it does look up and down a little bit. I'm not really sure if that's intentional. It's very subtle. He does bend at the hips. He has what looks like a thigh swivel, but I've not really got it to... Oh, well, no, it does. It's just really tight, apparently. He bends at the knees. He bends a little bit at the ankles as a result of a transformation. So, he does balance pretty well. He poses pretty well. Now, if you notice, he does have separate eyes. That's not something you see on a lot of Jazzes. You usually see his visor. But there is precedent for it. Back in some of the G1 Marvel comics, he actually had separate eyes. And there you go. You've got Jazz in robot mode. Pretty decent. And here is Jazz with the two previous Jazzes that I had showed him with in vehicle mode. We've got, of course, the Reveal the Shield or Classics Jazz and G1 Encore Jazz. And as you can see, the Warrior class RAD figures are they're about the size of the deluxes we've been getting in the Generations line for the last couple of years. Kind of shrunken a bit, although Reveal the Shield Jazz was kind of tall for a deluxe to begin with, and of course quite a bit taller than the original Jazz, just to give you some scale there. But I do really like Jazz. I think he looks like he fits in among his other selves. Really like it. It's sort of like a simplified, almost animated design. It's sort of in between Prime and animated. Again, I'm not really crazy about the cartoon, but I do like the designs that have come from it so far. So I definitely recommend this figure. Finally, just to sum up Jazz using my usual categories. Fun factor: Jazz is a nice posable figure with a nice vehicle mode, but he has a fun transformation, but he has no special features, no launching missiles, no gimmicks. So he's a pretty good, just basic action figure. As far as visual appeal goes, I think he's a great mix of G1 and the new design, style. I do like his colors. All around great looking figure. And on the first review I had called this customization potential, but I'm actually changing it to repaint retool potential, and I see a lot of potential here, whether Hasbro follows through with it, or if you're making it custom yourself, I could see this mold being Ricochet or Stepper, Prowl, Smokescreen, and it's hardly a complete list, but that's definitely the sort of the obvious ones that I would go for with this mold. And I'm actually tempted to buy a second one, strip some of the paint off, and make a Generation 2 Jazz. And Horde score, as far as the long-term value for this, it's Jazz. Everybody loves Jazz. If you find them on sale, I might pick up a couple extra to put away. In a couple of years, they'll probably be selling for quite a bit more than you paid for him. But I wouldn't bankrupt myself buying every single Jazz that you find. Now, overall score, I do give him a 4 out of 5 Mr. Belvedere heads. I do think he's a great figure. And this is for fans of both Robots in Disguise and Jazz in general. And he does fit in with the Transformers Prime figures pretty well too. So if you wanted a Jazz in the Prime style, he works pretty well to fill that void. All in all, a great figure. I definitely pick him up, especially at if you find him at retail. I wouldn't pay a markup for him. He's just came out, but he's already pretty plentiful, so you can pick him up at any of the major box stores for about $15, and it's a pretty great bargain. That wraps up today's review, and if you did enjoy this, please subscribe and like this video and do all those other internet-y things that people do. You can follow me on Twitter at DestinyHelix. You can subscribe to my Facebook page at facebook.com/DestinyHelix. You can see some of my original artwork at destinyhelix.deviantart.com. And you can check out my webcomics and blog at destinyhelix.com. And once again, thanks for watching. And if you're into magic, check out thediscardpile.com for custom magic tokens that I created. And check out my newest webcomic, Short Skirts in Zero Gravity, at shortskirtscomic.com. Thanks again.